What's going on, guys? So today I'm bringing to you guys the One Punch Man reveals for Red. Um, Looks like there's not too many reveals, not as much as Yellow yet, but I put together everything I could find. So we're gonna start with Garu, I think Garo. Just call him G. So we'll start with the Zero Drop G, active trigger, 2,000 BP, and one generates one energy. Pretty standard. The Speedo Sound Sonic is also a zero drop, 1500 BP for this one. Add this card to your hand. Oh wait, this zero drops an active trigger. That's pretty good. I haven't seen a lot of active triggers on a zero other than like maybe Renji and Bleach. Add this card to your hand. Cool. And then we have Mosquito Girl as a one drop. So she is a House of Evolution. Okay. One drop. When it's played, choose up to one character on your field. It gains 1000 BP until the end of the turn. That's cool. And then activate main. So once per turn, you can add one card from your life area to your hand. And if you do, this character gains 2500 BP until the end of this turn. Okay, so she makes herself 4K by taking one of your own life. So that might come up later in the game when you need 4K. So that's pretty good. And triggers draw a card and generates one energy. So that's not a bad card. We're going to go with now the 2-drop G. This guy is the color trigger and 3000 BP, generates one energy. Place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your sideline when it's played. Okay. And then it is the color trigger, as I said. Okay, that seems good for a 2-drop 3K. Now we have the 3-drop G. This character generates 2 energy, 3-drop, 3000 BP. During your turn, this character gains 1000 BP. Okay, so it's kind of like the 3-drop that Ichigo has, where it generates 2 energy, gives you 4000 attacker pretty much. That's pretty solid. Doesn't have a trigger because it's already pretty good. Now we have this 3-drop G. So this is a different one. It's also a 3-drop. It generates 2 energy as well, which is nice. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of cards in your sideline. So it looks like you're working with your sideline here. 5 or more if this character gains 500, so it would be 3000. 10 or more, this character gains another 500. 15 or more, this character gains another 500. So it could be up to 4K 3-drop if you have 15 cards in your sideline. That's pretty good. When it's played, you may pay 1 action point, and if you do, choose up to 1 character in your opponent's front line with BP equal to or less than this character's BP and sideline it. Wow, for a 3-drop, that's impressive. That's a very good. Yeah, once later in the game, you're dropping him and just popping 4Ks, and he comes out as a 4K, and you only need that as a 3-drop. That is very good. Very impressive. This guy might be a game changer right here. Okay, now we have another Garo G, whatever. 3-drop generates another 2. So a lot of these are generating 2 energies. Although it doesn't look like you need that many energies because this is only a 3-drop and he's very strong. This one generates. Oh, this is the same as that one. Sorry, that is the same as this one, just different artwork. Got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So then we move to the 4-drop Speedo Sound Sonic. So she's a 4-drop. It generates 1 energy, 4000 BP. More traditional trigger effect is add to hand or raid it. So on raid, at the end of this character's attack, if you have 3 or less cards in your sideline and there are no characters on your opponent's front line with 6000 or more base BP, you may swap this character with a Speedo Sound Sonic on your energy line. And when played, you may place 3 cards from your sideline into your removal area, and if you do, draw a card. Okay, so you play her, and if you have more than 3 cards, you want to banish them or remove them, so you have less than 3, so you can get her other effect. But yeah, so you sideline, you banish 3, or up to 3? Yeah, place 3, yeah, and draw a card. And then hopefully you have less than 3 so you can trigger this effect, which is a little bit confusing. At the end of this character's so when it attacks, this is pretty specific. Your opponent has to have a body that's base 6000 front line with 6,000 or more base BP. So it can't have a character with more than 6,000. Is there any base characters that have more than 6,000 other than the One Punch Man guy? I don't think so. So that's, I guess, very specific against that. So as long as they don't have that, you're good. You get to swap this character with another Speedo Sonic. Cool. So here we have it. It's the same one, I believe. Yeah, energy line. Yep. So now we have the. This is a different art, right? Yeah. So now we have the Speedo Sound Sonic Action 2 4-drop, 4,000 BP. Trigger is add to hand, so she's not a ready target. So play this character set to active, and then when it's played, you can play up to one red Speedo Sound Sonic card with 2 or less required energy and 1 AP cost from your hand or sideline. Set it to resting on your field. That's very good because you can use your grave or your sideline to summon back, which is very important. I know some of the decks now you can do this, but you have to summon from hand. So this being able to do from hand or sideline makes it a little bit better. Action 2, a little steep. We'll see if it's played, but it seems good. Now we have this 4-drop Sentichoro. Okay. So 4-drop generates 1 energy, 4,500 BP. Okay. For a 4-drop, 1 action point. Okay. So when it's in the front line, oh, it's an active trigger. Cool. If it's in the front line, the number of cards you can place onto your front line is reduced by 1. So you're only allowed 3 monsters or 3 bodies up front. And if you have 15 or more cards in your sideline, this character gains damage 2. Okay, so damage 2. And 4,500, that's very good. But you're only allowed to have 3 monsters. You have to have 15 or more cards in your side. It's weird because this is more of a late game, I guess. Huh, okay. But it's a good card nonetheless. Interesting. Alright, now we have a action 1 4-drop. Generates 1 energy, 3,000 BP, triggers draw a card. Super S. This one, when played, choose one of the following. You could either draw a card, or you can choose 2 characters with 2,000 or less BP, and whose BP are the same on your opponent's front line and sideline them. Okay, so let me read that again. Choose 2 characters with 2,000 or less BP, and whose BP are the same on your opponent's front line. So your opponent has to have in their front line 2 characters with the same BP, and that just has to be under 2K. So they have 2 1500s or 2Ks, and you get to sideline both of them. That is very solid. I guess the only downside is she's only 3,000 BP for a 4-drop, but that's really solid because against some decks, like Red Ashford, they have a lot of 1500s, and you can play against a deck that has a lot of 2Ks, and you get to sideline 2 bodies for the price of 1 action point. That is very solid. So this definitely has potential. I like that card. Okay, now we're gonna go to, okay, we have a Garo, a G6 drop. So as you can see, some of the reds had double energies. So usually red doesn't have that much energy. So it looks like it needs it for this particular 6 drop. So this is the same one, just different artwork. We're gonna read this one right here. 6 drop, generates 1 energy, 4,000 plus BP. This character gains all the abilities listed below, blah, blah, blah. So if you have 5 or more cards in your sideline, when attacking, you get to draw up to 1 card. Okay. If you have 10 or more cards in your sideline, this character gains 500 BP and impact. So 4,500 impact, that's very good. And then if you have 15 or more on your sideline, this character gains 500 more BP. And once per turn, when this character attacks and is not blocked, switch it to active. Whoa, that's very impressive. So it'll gain all these abilities. So again, this to me, this deck is sounding very similar to Purple Bleach, where you want to fill up your sideline to get, like the 5-drop Ichigo and the Renji to be. So you want to fill up your sideline as much as possible. And it sounds like this deck is very similar, but instead of having to banish cards or remove them from play, you just have to have a lot of cards in your sideline. So that's very cool. But this effect is really strong. 15 or more, it gains. So it'll gain 1,000. So it'll be at 5,000 impact 1, and when it attacks, if you don't block it, it switches to active once again. So that's very hard to deal with for sure. Wow, very good card. Okay, and then we have one last reveal for red. This one is Boros. Very hard to see, but see if I can give it a try. So this is a 6-drop, so another 6-drop. Generates 1 energy, 4,000 plus BP again. Trigger is add to hand. I didn't mention the last one was also add to hand and raid. So typical stuff. This one's also a raid target, but you cannot raid if you get it off the trigger. So the character effect is if the combined total of your life and your opponent's life is 4 or less, reduce this card's required energy by 2 while it's in your hand. Okay, so it'll be a 4-drop if it's late game. Cool. Okay, and then once you raid it, it has impact, and when played, this character gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn. So it'll be 5k. If the combined total of your life and your opponent's life is 4 or less, you may pay 1 action point, and if you do, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Oh, that's a phenomenal boss monster. That's very good in the late game. I don't really think it'll be worth summoning him early, because this is gonna be a 6-drop, so it's gonna be very steep, and then you're not gonna get the other effect to pay an AP to be able to sideline something. So, but maybe, we'll see. But as a finisher, this card is insane. You raid, you pop a card by paying an AP point. It's 5k, and it has impact. Like, what more could you want? It has everything you need. Wow. Very good. So yeah, that's going to do it for all the reveals for red. I think it has a lot of potential. This and yellow right now, I can't tell which one I like better. These G's or Gyros or whatever seem really good, really strong. But the yellow Gino is also very good. So I guess we'll see, right? We got to test them all out. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think is going to be the best? Right now we have some yellow, some red. So let me know what you think is better right now. And we'll take a look at that as soon as the more cards are revealed. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be showing you guys green reveals up next in the next upcoming days. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.